G'day and welcome to Australia's first modified S650 Mustang. This is an RTR Stage 2, it's the work of Melbourne's Mustang Motorsports, and today I'm going to give you a tour, tell you what's changed, and then we'll go for a drive. So all the usual stuff, like, subscribe, leave a comment, and let's get stuck in. The entry point to the RTR Mustang range is the Stage 1, which is primarily a visual upgrade package that's all included in Stage 2. There's all new grilles, RTR's signature LED lighting, a new bonnet vent, extended front spoiler, new side skirts, badging, a more aggressive rear bumper, and a rear spoiler. Impressively, the additions require no modification of the bodywork whatsoever. If you want or need to, you can revert the car back to stock. Inside there's a dash plaque and shift knob, while mechanically the car is lowered with RTR's 19-inch Tech 7 wheels, and this will set you back $13,990, including fitting and GST. Stepping up to the Stage 2 brings wider 20-inch wheels with massive 285mm front and 305mm rear tyres, and Continental Conti Sports replace the standard Pirelli P0s. In addition, there are adjustable shocks and anti-roll bars front and rear, and all up you're looking at $21,500 on top of the base Mustang GT. At this stage the powertrain is untouched, so that's the revised twin intake 5-litre with 345 kilowatts and 550 Newton meters with either a 6-speed manual or 10-speed automatic. All the cool new tech stuff in the S650 is also unaffected, so all the drive modes are present and correct, as are the retro instruments, allowing the choice of classic Mustang, 1980s Fox body, or turn of the millennium SVT Cobra R. But enough specs, let's hit the road. So to peel the curtain back somewhat, I actually drove this car a little while ago, and I was going to video it then, but decided to wait as at that stage I hadn't driven the standard S650 Mustang. So now I've done that, I'll be able to give you a better idea of how this car differs to the regular car. So the idea behind the RTR Stage 2 is kind of as an alternative to a dark horse. Ford brought 1,000 dark horses to Australia, they're all sold. If you want one, tough luck. But this is similar in concept and execution. More grip, better track capability, sharper dynamics, looks tougher, and with the RTR upgrades, the pricing is almost identical. So, what's it like? Really good. Now the powertrain hasn't been changed, that's the same as the standard car, but it's still got plenty of grunt, and I'm not sure from the inside at least whether you even need an exhaust on this thing because it sounds really good. Manual gearbox also feels better, it's slicker, it's light, it's easy to use, there's rev match if you need it. Now the one issue with the standard manual is that the gearing is very, very tall. 85 in first, 130 in second, 190 in third, and it just limits your opportunity to use it, especially on the road. The Dark Horse has the close ratio Tremec from the Shelby GT350, whereas this has the Getrag. Now there is a solution, you can get the 411 diff from the Ford Performance Parts Catalogue, standard cars 355, and I'd recommend you do so because it does liven the car up a bit. You still get the gaps between the gears, but just brings everything a bit closer together and makes the car feel faster. RTR does a really good job with the suspension setup of these cars. I drove the previous generation RTR Stage 3, which is basically Stage 2 with a supercharger, and it was an absolute dream to throw around. It was so predictable. I'm sure you could set this car up to go quicker around a track, and you can because the anti-roll bars and dampers are adjustable, but on the road a softer setup is always preferable and usually more enjoyable. The ride on this car doesn't really feel any different to a non-Magna ride standard GT, despite being lower, having a bit more body control. In fact, and I almost never say this, I reckon you could even go a little bit firmer on this car with a bit more body control without sacrificing the ride too much. But that's the beauty of adjustability. Tweak it to your own tastes. Handling is definitely a step up over the previous generation. It helps, of course, that the standard car is a better platform. Steering in particular is quicker and more consistent. It's interesting actually talking to James from Mustang Motorsport. He says underneath this thing, it's basically full of previous generation Shelby GT 500 bits, alloy arms and rear subframe and whatnot. And it doesn't surprise me because this thing, you can drive it much harder with much more confidence. Feels great on the road. I reckon it would feel great on track too, because we drove the standard GT at the bend as part of the launch and it was much sharper. Aside from the fact that the overheating issues are thankfully a thing of the past, I reckon with the bigger tyres on this, you could go chasing a few Porsches. So, is it worth the money? Well, 20 grand plus is a lot of cash, but then it's not really any more than a dark horse, and this does pretty similar things. And while I'm sure Mustang Motorsport would love to, I'm pretty sure they're not going to be making 1,000 of these, so it's definitely going to be the more exclusive car. I actually can't tell you whether it's worth the money or not. That's going to be up to you, but what I can tell you is that this Stage 2 package doesn't take the Mustang backwards in any area. Doesn't suddenly turn it into some super stiff or super noisy thing. It's just as easy to drive and comfortable as a standard car. Only it handles a bit better, and I know this is subjective, but this thing looks awesome. I just can't stop taking photos of it when we stop. Now there is one final piece of the puzzle. This car is soon to be upgraded to Stage 3 specification, which is a supercharger and more than 600 kilowatts. So let's revisit it then and see if that's the icing on the cake. Thanks for watching. See you next time.